On August 16, 2010, at the New York City Panel for Education Policy meeting, the Department of Education presented their explanation for the significant drop in student test scores. Hundreds of parents did not accept the department's explanation. When the panel refused to allow parents to comment following the presentation, the parents closed the meeting down. On August 30, 2010, the panel allowed parents, teachers, and the community to comment.
This year, in my ELA test, I got a 2.45. Last year, I had a 3.54. And in 2008, I got a 3.19. Why is this happening to me?
The New York State test scores have long been inflated, comes as no surprise to those who have followed the issue. The state and the city now publicly recognize, at least in part, the present and past problems, but they are not absolved from the real harm caused by this practice. Testing gate has caused harm to students, parents, and taxpayers. Thousands of students were denied access to remedial instruction because of the false positive of inflated test scores, incorrectly putting them over the threshold of proficiency. It is not enough to say they still made progress, since they, their parents, and the public were lulled into a false sense of complacency and even success. Since the test score inflation was not uniform, some schools unjustly suffered and others were unjustly rewarded through the DOE system of test-based carrots and sticks. Reparation should not be out of the question to help correct the damage already done.
The first slide here describes what's happened over the past 5 years in terms of the cut scores and how many kids were proficient. Okay. So you can see that at the end of last 2009, we were at about 68% proficient in ELA and about 81% in math. In 2010, that number dropped to 42% proficient in ELA and 54% in math.
How many students in our New York City public schools have been deprived of important services, remediation, academic intervention, after-school tutoring, because of these inflated test scores? That's a number we want to know.
I'm being held accountable as a teacher for the test scores that my students get, and I'm wondering if the panel is planning on holding Chancellor Klein and the mayor accountable in any way for the lies and the misinformation and the damage that has been done. So panel, this is a question for you. I'm wondering what you're doing and how you're planning on holding the Chancellor and the mayor accountable. Chancellor Klein, how you're holding yourself accountable, since I'm being held accountable by you. So I'd love, we have 10 seconds left, please, quick answer from anyone on the panel.
Okay, next speaker.
Accountability has to start with this board. Accountability has to start with you, Chancellor. We are here because we want solutions. We are here because it can no longer be business as usual on this panel. How dare you be able to sit there and not vote in any kind of conscience, in any kind of real way, in regards to elevating the success of our children? How dare you say you're representing our children? We say you're not. And something needs to shift and something needs to happen. In New York City, the district with the nation's highest enrollment of black students, we only graduate 20% of our black students on time. That cannot be wrong. See, we are not special interests. We are parents who care about our kids. We are community that care about our kids. And we are young people that want to succeed. Something different has to happen. And it must happen now. This is an emergency.
If I lifted 20-pound weights for the next half hour, that muscle would grow. It wouldn't last long, but an hour later it would be gone. The fourth graders are doing one thing, and by the eighth grade they've gone backwards. That indicates something.
comes a point when you have to take responsibility for the fact that your efforts at closing the achievement gap have utterly failed.
Ustedes no tienen tiempo para contestarnos y nosotros no tenemos tiempo de esperarnos.
You don't have any time to answer us, and we don't have any time to wait for you.
The anger is coming. We do not hear the urgency from the panel. We do not hear the urgency from the city of what is going on with our kids.
You are not focused on the most significant set of questions, which are what to do now.
Stop teaching to the test and finally give our children a quality education. Lack of a real plan is a mission, guys. Or as parents here would simply say, no mas. For the past 9 years, we've had an incompetent mayor and incompetent chancellor. Parents have been fooled by the rising test score. That should be fired for failing our children.
Next to fall will be this bragging about the high school graduation rates. The credit recovery, where you fog the mirror and you get credits. The drive-by diplomas, as Jamaica High School was talking about.
Mr. Chairman, let me close this way. This city has made progress.